Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got another top 5 video for you guys. And on today's top 5 video, I wanted to talk about the top 5 things that just make no sense in the story in GTA Liberty City Stories. Now, you guys might remember I played Liberty City Stories recently, and there's a few things in the story that just make no sense. I made a similar video on San Andreas on things that didn't make sense, and I thought I'd do one on Liberty City Stories. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Top 5 things that make no sense in the story in GTA Liberty City Stories. Starting off at number 5, we have killing JD's Watcher. Now, pretty early on in the game, Tony will actually visit Vincenzo in the mission Snuff, and Vincenzo will tell him that one of the Sindaco's associates, JD O'Toole, wants to be a Leone now. The only problem is that the Sindacos have somebody specifically assigned to watching JD to make sure he doesn't betray the family or go behind their backs. Now, Vincenzo's solution is for Tony to kill this guy watching JD.
If anyone was that dumb, we can use JD to get the drop on Sindaco's plans. He's gonna be a boy on the inside. There's just one thing. He's being sat on by some Sindaco ape. I want you to remove this little obstacle and get JD on our side. Capiche?
The issue with this is, think about it this way. Tony goes through this construction site, shoots a bunch of Sindacos. Is there really not going to be any witnesses to this? And on top of that, they have a guy specifically assigned to watching JD. JD hasn't done anything yet, so they can't kill him, but they know that he's unhappy. That's why they have somebody watching him. And if that guy watching him dies, that would make the Sindacos even more suspicious. And I know what some people are going to say. JD says he gets rid of his body. What about all the other bodies? But even if JD was to theoretically get rid of all the bodies, mafias know when somebody is dead, even if there's no body. If somebody's disappeared for some time, they haven't shown up, mafias know that something has happened to that person. The issue is there's no evidence directly against JD. But regardless, what would happen in this situation is the Sindacos would be even twice or triple the more suspicious. They would have double the amount of guys watching JD at this point. It would be extremely suspicious. The better solution would have been to actually pay off the guy watching JD, because then he could have reported that JD isn't snitching on the family when he is in fact. And also, if Tony tries to drop by JD's club dressed in a Leone suit, JD will actually say, I got no work for no Leone. But when Tony dresses up in casual clothing, for some reason, the Sindacos all just ignore that. Tell me, really, are the Sindacos really this stupid? At the beginning of the game, they might not notice Tony, but early on, after he does a bunch of missions killing them, they should be very well aware of who Tony is. So just Tony changing simply out of a Leone suit and just talking to JD in an alley, oh yeah, JD's talking to some guy we don't know in an alley. He's not betraying us or anything. I mean, are the Sindacos really this dumb? It doesn't make much sense. Next at number 4, we have driving Mickey home with JD's dead body. So in the mission The Made Man, JD is being driven to a ceremony over in Harwood thinking that he's going to be a made man of the Leone family. Now Mickey ends up killing JD, and if you want to know the reason on why JD was killed, I have a video explaining this whole thing in detail. I'll link that at the end. But anyways, right after JD is actually killed, Mickey actually says something really bizarre, and he says this.
Hey, the guy was a fucking rat. He screwed over his own boss. Disgraziad. Salvatore could never have trusted that motherfucker. Dump the fucking car in the river. You could drop me off on the way. If the cops see the car like this, they'll pull us over for sure.
So that's right. Mickey tells Tony to drive him home and then dump the car. And this is why I commonly refer to as Mickey as the stupidest hitman ever. So think about it this way. There's a car crusher right here, which a lot of people pointed out to me on my playthrough. Why couldn't they just put the car in the car crusher? That would get rid of all the evidence. But no, Mickey insists that Tony drive him home first. And he says, if the cops see the car like this, they'll pull us over for sure. So you got a dead body in the front seat. You got a guy clearly slumped over, head all bloody. The car is actually leaking blood as you're driving it. And Mickey insists on you driving him home. Is this guy not the stupidest hitman ever? And then if you actually get the cops after you when you drive Mickey home, Mickey actually says this.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here. Yeah, you are, you stupid idiot. Stupidest hitman ever. So I think the better solution would have probably been to put the car in the car crusher, and Mickey, he could also be crushed for his own stupidity. At number 3, we have Salvatore going to Fort Stunton on his own. So kind of halfway through the game in the mission Search and Rescue, Salvatore calls a payphone to which Tony answers, and Salvatore tells him this.
Yeah. Thank God you picked up. What's up, Sal? I was spying on the Pirellis in Fort Stunton when all hell broke loose.
Let's see what you got.
The Sindacos have gone to war with the Pirellis, and I'm stuck here in the middle of a hit.
You'll be sorry you tried.
I'll be right there.
Bring my limo, it's bulletproof, we're gonna need it.
So Salvatore decided to go to Fort Stunton, the heart of Forelli turf, a family that's hostile to the Leones, and decided to spy on them. This makes no sense because why would the boss of the Leone family go to Forelli turf? Everybody in the Forelli knows what Salvatore looks like. They know he's clearly the boss, so Salvatore would be absolutely terrible at spying. Wouldn't it make more sense for Salvatore to send one of his guys over that the Forellis don't recognize in order to spy on them? But instead, Salvatore actually gets pinned down in the heart of Fort Stunton and gets trapped in a mob war between the Sindacos and the Forellis, and calls up Tony to tell him to get him out of there. But there's even more things in this mission that make no sense. The other things are, why does Salvatore have no guards with him? Why is Tony the only one that goes and helps him? Why would the boss go into Forelli territory with no extra protection? In other missions, Salvatore has guards with him. You know, for somebody who's so paranoid, you'd think they'd have more security protecting themselves, but Salvatore has no extra security here. Instead, he gets pinned down like an idiot, and Tony has to go and save him. But on top of that, there's also Salvatore's limo. Salvatore's limo is on the other side of town in this parking garage. Why is it so far away from Fort Stunton? Why is his transport so far away? How did Salvatore even get there? And how did he get pinned down in this mob war? But not only does this mission make no sense, this is actually one of the worst missions in the game because it's how difficult it is to get out of the alleys and the fact that so many of the enemies can shoot you at such far ranges. But this mission makes no sense. Salvatore's lucky that Tony was there when he was, or else he would have been done. Moving on to number 2, we have stealing the evidence against Donald Love instead of destroying it. Now in the mission Love on the Rocks near the end of the game, Tony goes to Donald Love's building and he calls him up and tells him this.
Tony, you've got to help me. O'Donovan's got evidence linking me to Salvatore. We're sunk.
Calm down. Evidence goes missing every day. Not to mention judges, witnesses, jurors.
I hoped you'd see it that way. One of my men has been following the guy with the evidence. He'll meet you under the overpass in Newport.
So Donald Love is currently trying to run for mayor of Liberty City against O'Donovan. O'Donovan is being pushed by the Forellis, where Donald Love is being pushed by the Leones. Donald Love tells Tony that O'Donovan and the Forellis have some evidence against him, linking him directly to the Leones. Now, Tony tells him not to worry, that he'll get rid of it. So Tony goes over to the overpass, meets Donald Love's contact, he tells him that the evidence is in a van. Tony then jumps the barricade into this huge, fortified, dock base that these gangsters have where they're holding Donald Love's evidence. He goes through all of these guys, shooting and killing a bunch of them to get to the van with the evidence in it. But instead of destroying the evidence, for some reason, you are supposed to actually steal the evidence. So this evidence, like I said, links Donald Love directly to the Leone Mafia. Why would you steal it? Wouldn't it make much more sense to just destroy the evidence, get rid of it so that they have nothing? The game instead insists on you getting the evidence and getting out of there and bringing it back to Donald Love's penthouse. Like, that's going to make it even better. That's actually going to make it worse if somebody follows the evidence all the way back to his penthouse. So Tony has to dodge more Forelli hitmen as he drives over to Donald Love's penthouse. And even if the evidence gets destroyed, which that actually happened to me, I accidentally flipped the car over and the evidence got blown up, it fails the mission. Why would this fail the mission? Wouldn't it pass it because the evidence against him is gone? So no, you bring it back to his penthouse, you store it in his garage, and then Donald Love turns on the TV and actually tells Tony that the Forellis have shown proof that I am linked to you, and now I've gone bankrupt, and now I'm going to lose the my election bid. How does this whole thing make any sense? It doesn't. Before I reveal the number 1 thing that makes no sense, I wanted to make a few special mentions. And special mention number 1 is Donald Love leaving his penthouse. Now, in the mission Love and Bullets, Donald Love tells Tony that he hates publicity, but it's all part of the game. And then he tells him that he knows the Forellis are going to try to take him out. So my question is, why does he leave his penthouse? His penthouse where he's perfectly safe, he goes and leaves it. I understand he might have been heading to like a campaign rally or some kind of meeting, but then wouldn't he be going someplace downtown? Instead, the place that he drives down here to to, it leads to nowhere. It's just a few apartment buildings in the docks, and the Forellis ambush him. So why was his car driving here? Why is this the place that he's going to? It just makes no sense, and instead he just puts himself in danger for no reason. Special mention number 2 is where on earth was Salvatore being taken? So in the second to last mission, the Shoreside Redemption, in this mission, Salvatore is being let out of jail, so he has to be taken to the courthouse. So the police van starts taking him on towards the dam, and when you're on the dam, they get actually ambushed by the Sicilian Mafia, and so the police van actually makes a U-turn, goes back and goes towards the bridge, and then goes into downtown Stunton Island towards the courthouse where the mission ends. The reason that this is really strange and makes no sense is because the route when it turns around is actually the best route to take originally. It's actually the faster route. So where on earth was the van originally headed before it got ambushed on the dam? And I right here wanted to take a look, so I drove around because I was just puzzled by this. And the tunnel to Stunton Island is not complete yet because this is 1998. So if the van was to actually head towards the tunnel here, what would have happened is the van would have had to go all the way around here, and it would have just ended at the bridge again and would have had to make a U-turn right back towards the bridge. And right here up on the screen, I actually have a picture of the map. And the yellow represents the route that ended up being taken, the good route. And the red represents the original route that I'm assuming they were taken. So as you can see, the red route is just much worse than the yellow route. So where on earth were the police originally taking him? The route just makes no sense. And the number one thing that makes no sense in the story is killing the mayor only gives you 1 star. Now, in the mission, A Walk in the Park, this is the mission right when Tony gets into Stunton Island. Salvatore wants Tony to kill the mayor of Liberty City. Now, he's running with his jog through the park, and he's protected by Secret Service agents. Tony kills him right here. And right after Tony kills him, I understand that the Secret Service agents come after you. I get that. But it's the fact that you only get 1 star for killing him. How does this make any sense whatsoever? When I was a kid and the first time that I was doing this, and I saw that you had to kill the mayor, I was thinking that I was going to immediately get 5 stars right after I killed the mayor, and I was imagining that FBI cars were going to start ramming into me, and it was going to be impossible to escape. But the thing is, though, you only get 1 star. What the hell? Seriously? For killing the mayor, the leader of the city, you only get 1 star for killing him. How does that make any sense whatsoever? And to top it off, early on in the game, when you actually do Maria's missions, and Maria actually shoplifts, when she shoplifts, you get a 3-star wanted level. So shoplifting is considered worse of a crime in Liberty City than killing the mayor? How does that make any sense whatsoever? Man, this guy must be really unpopular. The public must really not like him to only get 1 star for killing him. But that's pretty much it. The top 5 things that make no sense in this game. I love this game. I love the story, but some of these things were just hilarious to point out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, and if you're new to my channel, you might subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.